March 24th, 1999, the first night of Operation Allied Force. The combined air forces of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, descend on Serbia. F-15 Eagles fly MiG-cap for the massive multinational strike force. One of these flights is led by Major Robert Renner, call sign Cricket.
I'd flown combat missions over northern Iraq in 1995, but was honestly thinking, you know, this is going to be a little bit different. It's not just enforcing a no-fly zone where you might occasionally see someone shooting at you, but this is going to be for real.
Flying element lead in the flight of 4 is Lieutenant Colonel Cesar Rodrigez, call sign Rico. He's an experienced F-15 pilot with 2 MiG kills in Desert Storm.
There's only 2 of us who had Desert Storm experience in our squadron. We had a whole new generation of fighter pilots that was more technically proficient, in my opinion, than those of us who fought in Desert Storm, because they were seeing the benefits of a Desert Storm in how the radars were developed and the new weapons were developed.
Shortly after arriving on station, Rico picks up an unknown contact on radar. At any time of the day or night, modern fighter pilots coordinate with airborne warning and control aircraft, called AWACS. The AWACS and F-15 use sophisticated radar and electronics to illuminate the nighttime battlefield. An AWACS on station over northern Italy confirms Rico's contact. A Yugoslav Air Force MiG-29. The MiG-29, designed during the 1980s, is a Mach 2 capable air superiority fighter. It uses both heat-seeking and long-range radar-guided missiles. The 1970s era F-15C Eagle was the first U.S. fighter specifically built for air-to-air combat since the F-86 Sabre. The F-15C's radar can identify and track targets at 90 miles, day or night. Still over 40 miles away, Rico's F-15 locks up the MiG.
It was really what I call a very amazing moment. We're at 30,000+ feet. We're doing Mach 1.4. We are, as we call, hauling the mail, and I take my shot.
I'll remember this forever. I hear him call Fox 3 over the radio, meaning he's just shot an AMRAAM at this MiG-29. So I'm 20 miles away, and I see the little point light come off his airplane and start going to track the MiG-29.
The AMRAAM is first guided by the F-15. Then its own active radar in the body of the missile kicks in. The missile makes tiny adjustments as it streaks through the night sky. Seconds later, impact.
I was actually fighting over a piece of ground that was not only mountainous, but covered in snow. So that fireball takes the reflection of the fire, multiplies it by all the mountains around us. If you were to take 2 or 3 football stadiums right next to each other, and then all 3 of the main light switches, you switch them on at the same time, that's what it looked like.
Rico Rodriguez has scored his 3rd MiG kill. It's a stunning demonstration of the dominance of technology in modern night fighting. But there are more MiGs rising to defend their homeland. To the north of Rico and Cricket, another F-15 pilot, Captain Mike Shower, call sign Dozer, streaks into battle. He is informed of Rico's engagement over the radio.
We heard through AWACS that there was an engagement in the south, that we got a splash 1 in the south call. It piques your level of attention up a little bit.
Dozer's senses are heightened by the presence of the enemy. He monitors his radar constantly, his only means of peering into the dark abyss that surrounds him. Soon, he will find himself in one of the most intense dogfights of the entire conflict. March 24th, 1999. F-15 Eagle pilot Captain Mike Shower, call sign Dozer, escorts a formation of F-117s to their targets near Belgrade. The stealth fighters are virtually undetectable at night, but they have no air-to-air defense. Dozer and 3 other F-15s are tasked with protecting them. Dozer's radar scans the night sky, searching for any sign of the enemy. Soon, he gets a contact.
I brake lock, look a little bit. About 30 seconds later, now I see it starting to march back down the scope, because initially it was going away from me, so we're kind of chasing it this way, and now it's turned high.
AWACS confirms its identity, a Yugoslav MiG-29. It's headed directly for the strike package. The MiG-29 is at 10 o'clock low and 25 miles away. The F-15 gains radar lock. Dozer fires 2 missiles.
They're called missiles, they miss, not hittles. So, always shoot 2 to up what we call your PK, your probability of kill.
Dozer watches the missiles streak away, but the darkness conceals another aircraft in the middle of the fight, invisible even on radar.
In the meantime, which I didn't know and I found out the next night, there was an F-117 directly between myself and the MiG. Before the war, I asked him, I said, hey, we're going to be above you, depending on where the MiGs are and where you guys are, we may be shooting through you, flying through you. Is that okay? And the weapons officer's like, yeah, it's big sky theory, don't worry, we'll never be close to each other.
The missiles roar past the F-117's cockpit, within feet of knocking the aircraft down.
And all of a sudden, that first missile over the top of his airplane motor burner, and second missile over the top of his airplane. Oh, good God! He said he starts doing this, looking. He's like, he's got NVGs on. He's like, I'm in the middle of a doggone shootout right now.
Unaware of how close he's come to knocking down a friendly aircraft, Dozer monitors the missiles.
First missile times out, nothing. And then I'm waiting for the AIM-7. Just as the AIM-7 times out, the target starts to maneuver in a right-hand turn towards the beam. So I'd be looking at him like this.
Dozer is here. The MiG-29, alerted to his presence, is now in a climbing right turn towards him. The F-117 is here. The stealth fighter is undetected in the middle of the dogfight. Dozer banks into a left turn to close with the MiG-29. He uses radar to see in the dark and maneuver against his target. He fires another missile.
The F-117 tells me at that time, about 1,000 feet away from him, he said he looks over, missile goes right in front of him, I fly right in front of him.
With the third missile airborne, the MiG-29 breaks back hard left, directly into Dozer. The Serbian pilot is breaking into the attack, trying to engage Dozer at close range.
So now I'm diving like this. The MiG is in a left-hand turn coming up towards me like that. We're 10,000 feet apart. But, hair in the back of your neck stands up a little bit.
The missile tracks almost straight down, then a burst of flame.
So now, like 100 foot of flame or whatever it was, I can see his airplane kind of spiraling with the hit, going downhill. And I continue to kind of do the left-hand turn over the top, watching it, quite honestly, not doing anything tactical, because I'm just going, wow, look at that. Because I've never seen that before.
It is Dozer's first MiG kill. The MiG-29 spirals down in flame towards the ground below. Dozer pulls up out of his turn and starts climbing back to altitude. The victorious F-15 pilot retakes his position above the strike package and continues the patrol.